Hello. In this short video, I want to talk about what we've released in the 1.0.1 version of Chocolatey CLI. Let's go ahead and jump in. And the first question is, well, what did we break? I mean, this is a bug fix release that's released just 3 days after the release of the 1.0.0 release of Chocolatey CLI. And the short answer is, we broke a fairly specific scenario where if you're using an older version of Chocolatey license extension, then Chocolatey is essentially completely inoperable. So I'm in that situation. I've got Chocolatey CLI 1.0.0 installed on my machine, and I've got a Chocolatey license extension of 3.2.0. And in that scenario, if I attempt to run Choco, I'm going to get an error message that says the registered delegate for type I enumerable I command through an exception, lots of text. Okay. Now, the reason that's happening is that in the 1.0.0 release of Chocolatey CLI, we removed some commands that are no longer needed and no longer desired. Now, in the earlier version of Chocolatey license extension, there's still an expectation that those commands exist, and as a result, there's a disconnect. So in this scenario, Chocolatey is kind of broken. So what we've had to do is we've had to reinstate some of those commands in order to allow folks to upgrade. Because even at this point, there's nothing I can do at the command line. There's nothing. Chocolatey is won't work. Even if you tried to upgrade the Chocolatey license extension, that's not going to work. So the workaround here is that if I go into my Chocolatey folder, and I go into the extensions folder, and I go into the Chocolatey folder, and if I go ahead and just rename this file, I'm just going to put an exclamation mark at the front of it, and then I attempt to run Choco, then it's going to give me, still going to give me errors, but it's going to be an operable Chocolatey installation at this point. So what I can do at this point is I could do Choco upgrade Chocolatey -- version and take me up to 0.1.101. That will allow the installation and upgrade of Chocolatey, and then I can put that license extension assembly back in play, and then Chocolatey will be operable. Now, in the release notes, we did make a note that if you're running this version of Chocolatey, you will need to upgrade your Chocolatey license extension in order for it to work. But there are some folks out there, some of our customers, that are in a situation where they're not able to upgrade the Chocolatey license extension. So what we did is we temporarily reinstated those commands, but made them non-operable, so that the commands that were removed have been added back in, but they don't do anything. They just mark. They say they still output that those versions don't exist, but they do it in a way that is compatible with the older versions of the Chocolatey license extension. So now that I've done that, if I go back and I rename this file, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to rename it, I'm going to remove that exclamation mark. So now if I run Choco, where it was erroring before, it's no longer going to error. So we're in a situation now where older versions of the Chocolatey license extension will work with the newer version of Chocolatey. Now, we did that in this scenario to cover that update path, but in future versions of Chocolatey, there will be, or what to say it differently, in future versions of Chocolatey, we can't guarantee that the newer version of the Chocolatey CLI is going to continue to work with older versions of the Chocolatey license extension. And then folks that are need to stay with the older version of the Chocolatey license extension will need to pin their Chocolatey CLI version to the older version and simply not upgrade to it. There's little that we can do in that scenario because we need to move Chocolatey CLI forward, and we can't always maintain backwards compatibility. We try, and we've, like I say, we've put in place in this release specific handling for that, but we can't guarantee that that will continue going forward. So really, that's all that was included in this release. It was a bug fix specifically for that reason. But if you do notice anything else, feel free to reach out. But for now, thanks for listening.